Hello everyone and welcome to episode 23 of the Books, Hooks and Yarn knitting podcast. Don't mind the tail that occasionally appears here. I'm getting kitty cuddles today because I'm in my room. My daughter's doing remote learning because lockdown 5.0 in Victoria. And I've been on here for so long and I thought I'd jump on. I've done a bunch of work this morning. Won't do that again. Yeah, I've done a bunch of work this morning. I thought I'd make myself a coffee. She's having a Google Meet, which I'm not allowed to be involved with, so I'll just let her do that. Have my coffee, and I've got a very professional setup today. I've got my tripod on a washing basket. So at least there's coffee, which thankfully I thought ahead and put into a travel mug because I've already knocked it over. Thankfully it was closed, but yeah. Have a coffee, have a chat with you guys and show you what's been going on, which I know it's been a month, I think, since the last episode. And I'm looking at my pile next to me. I should have like triple the size of what's next to me, but I don't. There's been a lot going on. So anyway, let's start with some finished objects, of which there is one here because my mum stole another one. I'll pop a picture here. I did some DK shorty socks. Actually, I think they're called simple DK shorty socks. It's by Woolfield Studios. And I did them in the ecstatic DK sock yarn from Liz of YarnsByTheBay. And they were absolutely stunning. And I just kind of said to my mum, hey, try them on, because she's always been very anti hand knitted socks. I tried them on, she tried them on, sorry, and I never saw them again. So yeah, I think she'll be getting some hand knit socks for Christmas as well in 4-ply, because it turns out we have the same size foot pretty much. So what she's lacking in my length, her foot's wider than mine. Like, I've got a long narrow foot and she's still got large feet, but they're slightly wider than mine. So the extra rounds I do for the length help her with width somehow, so I don't know. And the other finished object, which if you've been on my Instagram you already know this, is my twisted t-shirt. It's kind of hard to get in all its glory. Thankfully it's cropped so you can see it. This is by TheLittleWolfKnits, Brianna. It was a test knit, my first ever test knit. Possibly my last ever garment test knit for a while, because it took much longer than I thought it would. Admittedly, life did get in the way with foot surgery and whatnot, and I did not want to take this to hospital and risk ruining it, because I made enough mistakes being completely drug free and, you know, with it. So not that was the pattern's fault, it was just, you know, beginner rookie mistakes, and when I make it again, which I will, I'll know what I'm doing more. So this has a tubular cast on, which I've never done before, and a twisted rib, which I have done before. I love twisted rib. It's very pretty. And then it has the yoke with this beautiful faux seaming there, which is just stunning. And it runs all down the side as well. Oh, it's a paid for pattern, so I'm obviously not going to give everything away. But yeah, it was my first time ever doing short rows, so that was really interesting. My only issue I had is I followed some advice on how to do helical knitting so I could alternate between my two skeins of the purple. Look what happened to my back when I was doing that. I'm hoping I can block a lot of it out. It was worse than this, and I've already, just by my tugging and pulling, it's gotten a lot flatter and better. And I stopped doing that here, and as you can see, even when I changed skeins, no difference in colour. And yeah, no noticeable difference to me anyway. One of them wasn't particularly darker than the other. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. The yarns are, this one here is Fruit Tingle Cocktail by Jokamamo Textiles, and the purple is Wisteria by YarnsByTheBay. They're both a 4-ply fingering. Some of the best yarns I've ever knitted with, quite frankly, and I think that's what made this so enjoyable. It flew by the time I separated for the sleeves. And the thing I loved about this pattern was that when you separate for the sleeves, there's no sleeve island. You do the cuff, and that's it, you're done, which is awesome. So yeah, I highly recommend that. It is on Ravelry. I would go check it out because it is a very good knit and the instructions are very clear. Yeah, I loved it. Like, I'm a complete beginner. That's my first ever garment, and there was not a single part that I stopped and went, I have no idea what I'm doing. So the only reason I didn't get it done in time, I got it done 4 days late, was because of my ankle surgery. If I hadn't had that, and basically I think I had a week and a half of not knitting on that, I would have had it done. So thanks a lot, ankle. You're just the gift that keeps on giving. In case, I know I haven't said this already, but hi, I'm Crystal. I was clearly very eager to show you my knits. I like to knit. That's basically it. I can crochet, don't particularly enjoy it much. I can sew, which I do enjoy, but I'm not very good at. So yeah, I mostly stick to knitting because it seems to be where I found my groove. I make lots of mistakes and I'm very open and honest about them. But I mean, I made that. Like, I don't care if there's mistakes. I made that and it looks amazing on. I haven't taken any proper pictures because I haven't blocked it yet. The weather here has been abysmal, so I'm just waiting for just half of a sunny day to try and get it like dried after I've blocked it. Yeah, it'll get done. I guess now I can show you some whips. I'm only showing you 3 that I am actually working on, sort of. I do have a ton of others, like my Ursa sweater that I had to restart. I haven't worked on that much since I restarted it because I was working only on the twisted T-top and the pair of socks that my mum got. And the only reason I was knitting the socks was to have a break from knitting a garment in 4-ply yarn. So yeah, the first thing I will show you is my shawl, I guess. I haven't done much on it. I think I haven't done anything on it since I posted it on Instagram. But I am knitting the... Wow, I've just drawn a total blank. Oh, I have to go get my book. It's from the 52 Weeks of Shawls. And I'm knitting the Seedling. Thank you, brain. I'm knitting the Seedling shawl. I'll put the details here and everything because I can't remember who it's by. But this is what I've done so far. It's a baby shawl. But it is very pretty. It's a lot of slip stitches. Not a lot of give in the fabric because of the slip stitches, but I don't mind. It feels like a really beautiful, dense, warm fabric, and that's exactly what I was going for. So yeah, it's a very simple, easy. I've like got my row repeats written on a sticky note inside the bag, so I don't have to cart the book around with me or anything. I'm enjoying it so far. I've got my Knit Pro needles ready to go for when it gets larger, but at the moment I'm just knitting them on some cheaper circular needles that I've had for forever. They are on, I think it's on 4 mils. Yep, 4 mils. And the yarn I'm using is one I actually got for Christmas from my husband because he's a great yarn husband and buys me yarn for Christmas. He knows what's good for him. He'll do it this Christmas too. Inkspell by Stitchcraft and Wizardry. So it's very sparkly because it has gold stellina. So it's their gold finger base, which is a reference to the gold stellina. Sorry, total mind blank there. It's 80% superwash extra fine merino, 15% nylon and 5% gold stellina, 400 meters to the 100 grams. And the colors are just knitting up beautifully and I can't wait to have this. I know it's like purples and stuff, but it feels like that kind of color is going to go with everything. I think the grays and there's actually browns in it as well. If you look here, that's all through it as well. I feel like that makes it neutral enough to wear with everything. So now that I finished my top, I will get back to knitting on this and hopefully next week I will have quite a bit more progress to show you. My Stitch Keeper, wow, you can tell it's been a while since I've done this. My Stitch Mark Progress Keeper is the One More Row one from Megan of Mavis Castle Name. So I love her stitch markers. I actually have some more of her stuff coming soon. And the yarn and the bag is my Hufflepuff one that someone graciously offered to make for me along with my avocado one. And I absolutely love it. That was Tanya actually made it for me. I'll pop her Instagram here because she did put a photo of them. Good shawl size one for the moment while it's nice and small. I don't know if I'll need to put it into a bigger one or whatever. But that's it for now. Next, oh my god, these have been the bane of my existence. I posted on Instagram that I was making the World's Simplest Mittens by Tincanknits. So I've got measurements down there for children. And I have made one. That's for my bunny with her tiny little hands. It's hard for me to believe that someone's wrist is that skinny, but yep, she's a dot. So that's it. And I have gotten this much done of the second one. I had gotten so much more done before. So I've got a bunny on there because her nickname is Bunny and her middle name is Rose. So I've got two very fitting stitch markers on there. Progress keepers, sorry. Well, stitch marker, progress keeper. I had this done. I had already separated for the thumb and I was halfway through my rows I needed to do before I started doing decreases, and I realized I forgot to switch from my ribbing needle to my proper needles. So I had to rip it all out, picked up my stitches around the ribbing and just ripped back to there. So I now have this glorious chunk of yarn to knit through. This is going super fast, I will admit that, and my daughter absolutely loves them. She does love them, but I dyed this yarn. Sorry, I should say. This is on Nundle Wool & Mill's base, their Metallica base. I'm pretty sure it's DK. I didn't actually check. It feels DK, and it knit up like a DK, so I assumed it was a DK. And I dyed this with some gay wool dyes. I think it was the, I can't even remember now, Alpine and Frost dyes. I think I just kind of threw them in thinking it would come out a really deepish darkish blue, and I ended up with all kinds of blues and purples in there, so I love it. I was thinking of calling it Drama because I made it for my girls, and it's a bit flashier than colours I would normally wear or dye, I guess, which I'll prove later. So yeah, it kind of seemed like it would suit. So I dyed that, and so she goes, oh, I like it, but I wanted pink mittens. I was like, well, you're welcome for the hard work that I put into knitting this on DPNs, which I hate doing. Not a fan. I don't know if it's because they're wooden, or I just don't like DPNs. After knitting on 9-inch circulars for all my socks and stuff, and I only have to use DPNs when I get to the toes, and I sometimes will go, no, let's do magic loop instead, or, you know, I stretch out as much of the circular as I possibly can before I switch to the DPNs. Knitting a whole thing on DPNs kind of sucks. But yeah, so we went through my stash and she picked some pink yarn. So she's gonna have 2 pairs of mittens. She's gonna pick some pink yarn. Because I have another one of these, so I'm going to be knitting my eldest daughter a pair as well. So they'll have matching mittens and then their own ones as well. So she picked this one from the stash that I have dyed up with food dye. It's just a, what's it called? I can never remember what it's called, but it's just 100% wool from Spotlight. It's just a cheap one. It's not fantastically soft, but for mittens for a kid that should probably wear to childcare, because she wears all of her hair knits to childcare, it's fine. And my eldest daughter picked this one from Dragonfly Yarn. I'll put the details here because I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's much softer, and I'm hoping she will take much better care of her mittens than the youngest one does. She's my bear, my eldest, that's what we call her. But I don't have any bear stitch markers, so I need to remedy that. But yeah, these colours are absolutely stunning, and she is going to love them. I can't wait to see it knit up. I haven't caked it up until yesterday, and once I caked it up and saw all the colours, I thought, oof, that's going to make some nice mittens. So that's mittens. So yeah, those are knit on ribbons on 3.25 and the rest of the mittens on 3.75s. What I love about this pattern, it's a free pattern, is that it has the yarn for all of, sorry, different weights. Try that again. It has the instructions for different types of yarn, so anything from fingering to chunky you can make mittens from. I think I will like to make myself some fingering mitts, because I don't know how I feel. Maybe I'll do one of both, possibly. I'm hoping on fingering it means I'll be able to use circulars instead of DPNs, but looking at the stitch count, probably not. Oh, one thing I did do is I followed some advice from you guys. I was struggling with getting the ribbing started because it's tiny. It's only like 34 stitches. The ribbing started. So what I did is I actually did the first row of ribbing and then I joined it in the round. So I'll use the tail end to stop that little gap there when I'm finished. But that was so much easier than trying to just start it in the round from the get-go. So I think I'll probably be doing that with my socks from now on. And last thing I've got, which I'll probably work on while we're sitting here, a few episodes ago I showed a crocheted blanket that I started for my husband and I, like just from some random, I think they were Mittens actually from Spotlight. I pulled it out. I had like 3 rows done and I was just over it. I don't know why I bothered starting it as a crochet, because I don't particularly enjoy the beginning of crochet blankets. I like it when I'm about halfway through and I can really see it, and yeah, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling the crochet, so I pulled it out and I started knitting it instead. So this is just a blanket variation of Grandma's favorite dishcloth. So you just start off with 5 stitches and you establish this beautiful border, which is just done by yarn overs. So I just knit 3, yarn over, knit the rest, flip it around, knit 3, yarn over, knit the rest. Yeah, and I quite enjoy it. It's I needed something, doesn't follow, well, it does follow a pattern, but it's the kind of thing that I can just sit and mindlessly knit and watch TV or read a book on my iPad or work. More about that later. So yeah, that's all I'm working on at the moment. I will pick up my Ursa sweater after I finished all these mittens and work on that, because I do have a friend's birthday coming up and she wanted an Ursa sweater too, and I've got the yarn sitting there for her. I just need to finish mine so she can try mine on, and then I know if I'm making the exact same size for her. I am a little bit worried that I may be knitting my Ursa a size bigger than I need it to be, but I like baggy jumpers. Like this one's got huge balloon sleeves and like it's not flattering, but I like how comfy I am in it. Sometimes I just prefer to be comfy rather than look like I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go, especially during lockdown. All right, so that's all I'm working on. I guess I must be up to some purchases. Now, I know that we were supposed to go to Bendigo. Well, not everyone knows that. Okay, so the Australian Wool and Sheep Show in Bendigo was supposed to happen the weekend of the 19th and 20th. No, that can't be right. The 16th, 17th, 18th. There we go. And I was going to go for a day trip with my mum. Originally, we were going to do like a whole family trip, but my husband wanted to take the dog, and trying to find dog-friendly accommodation that wasn't booked out was impossible. So my mum turned around and said, hey, let's just do a day trip up there. You know, we'll just be us two. We'll go spend some money, check out the vendors and meet all these lovely people that you've been yakking to me about for a year. And I was like, yep, awesome. I was so excited. And then obviously lockdown was announced the Thursday before, so it got cancelled. So I was determined to I had a list of people I wanted to check out. So I still did that. And I did my purchases that I wanted to do, because I didn't want to get swept up in the mania of it all. Like, I had given myself a little cushion of extra money just in case, but I did have a list of what I wanted to buy, and who I wanted to see. So I stuck to that. And I will do a separate video showing all of those purchases once I've received them all, because I'm still waiting for one more. And I don't just want to show you what I got. I actually want to start knitting things with them and review the yarn. Like, it's nice to show you guys, yarn and get names of local dyes and stuff out there, but I also want to let you guys know what it's like and whether or not it's nice to knit with, and if it's soft on the hands or it makes a beautiful fabric, or maybe it's good for this pattern but not necessarily for that pattern, like that kind of thing. I'm by no means an expert. I just want to be able to give my honest opinion, I guess. Okay, so yarns that I have bought that I can give an honest review on because I have used them before many times because I'm a little bit obsessed with them, is Yarns by the Bay. Liz is part of Wool Swap this month, so she is, she had a little discount on for people that had signed up for Wool Swap this month. My partner likes jewel tones, so I jumped onto Liz's yarns knowing how stunning they are, and I did grab a couple of things for my partner, but I also grabbed some things for me because I can't resist Liz's yarn. Alright, so let me put this down and I'll show you what I got. I got another DK sock yarn because I wanted to make myself a pair of DK shorty socks. This is Gladesville. It's actually more my mum's colour than, so Ecstatic was probably more my colour because it was blues and greens. Totally up my alley. My mum's more of a maroon, reds and purples kind of girl, and woman, creature of the dark. Sorry, love you mum. So this is definitely more her colour, but I figured she stole my socks. I'm going to make myself a pair of socks in her colours and I will see if she wants to trade. No, I won't because she's already been wearing my socks. So I will, yeah, knit myself a pair of socks and we can be opposites in our colour choices. So that's beautiful. That's 100 grams, 225 meters, more than enough to make the shorty socks. I'll have some left over. 85% superwash fine merino, 15% nylon. I love that it's DK with nylon in it, which means I don't have to worry about my feet wearing through it. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I can recommend this so honestly because I've knit a garment with Liz's yarn, I've knitted socks with Liz's yarn, I've knitted, oh, there was something else I've done with her yarn as well and I can't think of what it is now. It'll come back to me later. All right, so that, I got some more fingering weight yarn. I'm trying to get some more neutrals and stuff because I don't gravitate towards those naturally, so I'm trying to make the, like I'm pushing myself to choose these yarns. This is Almond in her sock yarn, so it's deluxe sock, 85% superwash extra fine merino, 15% nylon, 400 meters to the 100 grams. So that's just a beautiful neutral, and I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but yeah, it does actually have some speckles in it. So I'm just going to see if I can see, there's one there, and I saw another one just before. Oh, they're all up in there. So yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. All right, I have a dog on my lap now, and I have a 6-year-old here doing remote learning, so if there's quite a bit of editing for the rest of this, I'm sorry. I also don't have many tonals or solids in my collection, so I decided to grab this beautiful green, which is called, I want to say Air, but I'm not entirely sure how that's pronounced. So yeah, we'll just, it's either Air or Air, I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's the same as the other one, the deluxe sock base, and it's absolutely stunning. I am not sure what it's going to be of. I don't know why I keep buying just one skein of colorways that I absolutely love, because then I'm kind of stuck with one skein projects, like a beanie or socks, or yeah, I don't know, I'll figure it out. I also made a purchase from Sians Yarns. Madeline from About Ewe saw her and grabbed some things at Fibre Feast in South Australia, so I decided to grab myself some things too because I thought, ooh, I like those a lot. The first thing I had to grab was some yarn because look at this. Oh my rainbow goodiness. It is so beautiful. So this is Rich Purple Rainbows on the Superwash sock yarn. 75% wool, 25% nylon. I don't think I've had a 75-25 before. It's always been 85-15s. So yeah, I like this. She's got a needle hook size recommendation on her label as well. So this is just stunning, and there's a little mini that came with it as well, which is 75-25 as well. So I've got about 20 grams, 80 meters in there. Okay, I just quickly finished up the 6-year-old with remote learning. So that was the yarn. So I think with the mini, my 4-year-old, because I have a 4-year-old now, guys, claimed it straight away and asked if I could. I said, oh, I think I can use that for like cuffs, heels and toes on a pair of socks. She goes, oh, I'd like this in a pair of socks. And I'm like, yeah, awesome. You know, I just got to find a color to use for the rest of it. And then I'm racking through my stash quickly going, what on earth am I going to use with this mini to make her a pair of socks that will like go? Because as I said, I don't really have any tonals. And I could use the rainbow one, but not sure how the colors would go with socks, especially for a small pair of socks. And then I remembered I have this. So this is from Rainbow and Sprinkles. And I thought that'll look really cute with the self-striping for the body and the foot, leg and the foot, sorry, I always say body. Leg and the foot, and then that for cuffs, heels and toes will look really cute, and I don't have to worry about her heels and toes getting dirty then walking around on the floorboards all the time. So that'll be perfect. Sian also does the most gorgeous, sorry for the knocking, Jazzy's just here and she just moved, does the most gorgeous Japanese knot bags. So I clearly have an obsession with sausage dogs now, and I got one. I couldn't resist. It's just so beautiful, and it's got a flat bottom, which means I'll be able to fit quite a lot in there. And I love the little tag that she's put on here as well with care instructions. I've never had one with the tag on the outside like that. I absolutely love it. So I can't wait to use this. I might even switch my blanket to it so I can walk around and knit on it while it's little. So I can just, hold on, I'll set it up right now and do a demonstration. So I can pop my yarn in, and then I can fold it over. Nope, wrong way. Fold it over. So it's still feeding through. What I could do is I can actually have it feeding through. This is probably how you're supposed to do it. And this is just me discovering things as I go, which is pretty much my exact way of learning. There we go. No, I want it to feed through so that when I fold it, it goes up. So if I try it this way. There we go, that's how, so it's coming through here now. So I have to have it on coming, so if you feed your yarn through the side with the shorter handle, it'll, yeah, work perfect. And then I can pop that over my arm, and I can knit away while I'm walking around. Not that I'm doing much walking at the moment, but this will be handy for hospital tomorrow, actually, when I go see my surgeon. So that is very handy. Look at that. Ta-da! And then, yeah, knit away. So, of course, I got the sausage dog one because I'm a little bit obsessed. Although, when I show you Jazzy, like, it's obvious she's crossed with a sausage dog, but a dachshund. But she also very much looks like a lab. So, I'm not opposed to having lab-themed items either. Honestly, I've never really been a fan of dachshunds until I saw Jazzy's litter, because I've always been a big fan of labs, and that's kind of what sold me. If she hadn't been crossed with a lab, we wouldn't have gotten her, because I know the dachshund temperament can be very stubborn and clingy, but yeah, I know they're a very popular dog at the moment. So yes, that's my beautiful new bag from Sians Yarns. And then because I have a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, we have a show in our household that we watch religiously. It is Bluey. Anna, I have a Bluey bag. I just look at it. I'm so happy with it. I think every time I knit them socks now, it's gonna have to be from this bag, because yeah, it's just too perfect. Thank you so much, Sean. I absolutely love my items. They're just so well made. They feel beautiful. And the yarn, I can't wait to knit with that and tell you guys how it goes. I think it's going to be a pair of socks for me because with wearing my boot, hand knit socks has been the thing that's kept my feet the warmest, and I'm so cold at the moment because I'm a bit limited as to what clothes I can wear as well. So hand knit socks has been coming in handy a lot, and I don't have as many pairs as I'd like to. So my goal for next winter is to have at least 12 pairs. That way I've got a week's worth of socks and then 5 days extra while I get that first week's worth of socks washed and dried, because the weather sucks in winter. So yeah, that's all my purchases I'm going to show. Oh no, it's not. Guys, look what I finally got. I finally got my Chiagu set. There are some needles missing because I am using them for projects at the moment. Oh no, they're right here. I was using them. I was doing magic loop for the thumb on Bunny's mittens. I'll pop it back in. So my tax went through and I did like all the responsible grown-up adult things that we do with my tax. And then I thought I'm going to let myself have the money to buy my needle set and to have some money for Bendigo. So that's what I did. So yeah, I absolutely love it. Between this and my Knit Pro set, I think I am good to go for a little while. I already used this on, like, I ended up finishing the body and the sleeves on my twisted t-shirt with this because you can actually connect two of the cables together, and there's like little connectors, and then you can connect two cables together to make them super long. So that's what I did for the body because I couldn't try it on the cable size I had. So I was just like, I'm just gonna have to finish it and then try it on, because I did try putting like my needle stoppers on it and trying it on when it was on the smaller cable, and oh my god, I popped the needle stoppers off and dropped like 5 stitches. I was so mad. So I wasn't keen to try that again. But with the longer cable on, yeah, I could slip it on. It was no problem. It was awesome. So yes, I highly recommend this if you can save up for a set. They do have smaller ones. I got the complete set because I figured if I was going to buy it, I didn't want to buy a smaller one and then need to buy another one later. Oh, sorry, Jazzy. Did you hear that? There is a sock needle set, I do believe, which I would like to get because I currently only have one set of my favorite size of sock needles. And there always seems to be a pair of socks on it. And I'd like to have more than one pair of socks going at a time. So yeah, I hate the thought that I have to finish a pair of socks before I can start the next ones. Who does that? Not me, not anymore. All right, this is such a long one, guys, but sorry, this is what happens when I don't post for a month. Obviously, I've mentioned this before, and if you live in Australia, you already know this because half the country is in lockdown, but Melbourne's in lockdown. And 2 small children. Weekend, not great weather, like the sun comes out in the morning and then by the afternoon it's just hell. But I decided on Saturday afternoon, I was feeling creative, but felt too itchy to sit and knit. I don't know what it was. I think it's because I've been sitting and knitting on my top for so long, and I got that done. I was like, what now? What do I do now? I felt like I needed just a day's break from knitting, and I would dye some yarn instead. So of course I started getting everything out, and my girls see that I'm getting everything out. Can we dye yarn? And I'd just gotten some new dyes from Landscape. I got new Landscape dyes. I decided to try their brights. It's just a sample pack because I wasn't sure if I was gonna love them or not. I love them, so I'll be buying more of those. I said to my daughters, well, you can't use these ones. I'm not letting you use proper acid dyes. You can do some with food dye. So they said, yeah, cool, awesome, we'll do that. So I set up their trays and gave them some yarn, and yeah. My youngest, I had like 97 grams of Bendigo Woollen Mills Magnolia Classic or something like that. It's just an 8-ply. Megan from Mavis Castlemaine sent it to me as dye enablement, and she dyed it up. Now she was doing a beautiful rose pink, peach and yellow combination, and then my husband came along and decided he wanted to get on the fun and had no idea what he was doing, and he just grabbed the navy blue food dye gel and just blobbed it onto her yarn, not realizing that they have to be like diluted with water in order to use them on yarn. You can't just blob them on, and it darkened the skein so much. So I actually mixed her up some purple really quickly as well and got her to mix it over just to try and dilute the blue a bit. So there's still bits of orangey tones in it, and there's still lighter bits of yellow-ish tones in it, but it's mostly just a red blobby maroony color now. She's not mad. I'll probably make her a beanie or something out of it, or maybe another cowl to go with her horrific orange and yellow one. But yeah, that's her skein. My eldest did really well because she had no interference. I used some Nunda Woolen Mills sock yarn for her. Thought she might like a pair of socks. She actually asked for a beanie. I'm like, I don't really want to knit you a beanie out of 4-ply, but if I have to, I will. So she did teal, purple, navy blue, and rose pink. And I put them into like squirty bottles for them, and she just squirted it wherever she wanted. So she said she really liked that she had some lighter bits and some darker bits. The pinks have come through a bit. She absolutely loves this, and I have to admit I'm quite impressed. I actually really like it. She asked me to boil it so the colours would blend together a bit because they weren't very saturated. She didn't move her yarn around much, whereas the youngest was mixing it with a spoon, really mushing it around. She kind of let hers just sit in the tray and put the dye wherever she wanted. So you can kind of see where the bottom was sitting in the tray and the top was, yeah, sitting upwards. But she loves it, and I will definitely knit her something on it. It is very soft. That is our first time dyeing the Nunda Woolen Mills, and it is very, very soft. Oh no, I lie, sorry. I dyed some for my last wool swap partner, Chelsea, and I will pop a photo here actually because I was not loving that colorway, and it turned out so beautiful knitted up. So it just goes to show you never know. I am actually going to cake this up this week and get started knitting on it because I'm very excited to see how this turns out. I think it is just so pretty. I think she did such a good job. She deserves to have it made up into something for her straight away. So yeah, I feel like I haven't made her much for knitting, but she is very particular about what she has on her skin. I also had a 50-gram white skein of, or cream possibly, of the Elfin from Bendigo Woolen Mills, which I wasn't a huge fan of, just sitting there all white. And then I saw Kathy from Whatnot had like a pink version that they sell, and she had knitted it up into a beanie. I thought, oh, I really like that. So I decided to just dye mine pink with some rose pink food dye because I didn't have a pink powder dye to get this color. Sorry, I've got a thread that doesn't know which side it wants to be on. There we go. So this is equivalent to a DK weight, I think. Even though it looks quite thin, when you knit it up, I think it makes a bit of a thicker fabric than a 4-ply would. Oh my gosh, you can't even, there we go. So yes, I am very interested to see. It doesn't look like it would be very soft, but it actually feels pretty good against the skin. Maybe I'll make a cute headband actually. I haven't made a headband yet. I think I might try a headband. Not like this because that looks ridiculous. But yes, I think I'll make that a headband. It is very pretty, and I was very impressed with how it took the dye. It kind of made me want to get some more and dye it, but I haven't been buying from Bendigo Woolen Mills to dye because I found their sock yarn was so much thicker than what I was used to knitting with, so I kind of stopped buying it to dye. I did dye some little minis for the Nunda Woolen Mills sock yarn with my new dyes. So this was like a blue, a green and a yellow. I just sprinkled them in and let them do their thing. So I got that one, and I've already balled this one up. This one had a bit more yellow in it, which I did both skeins at the same time in the same pot. So yes, I quite enjoy those, and I think I might even possibly throw them around. I think I will possibly, it could be too green, but it could also be really nice. That could be quite pretty. It might be too green. It's all right, I'll find something to use them with. It's not like I don't have a stash. What else do I need to, okay, so the dyes I got are called Brights. I have a new wool swap partner. Carolyn, if you are watching, look away. Come back in about 3 minutes. The reason I got the Brights is because Carolyn likes jewel toned yarns, and I found plenty to buy, but she also wanted very low or no synthetics in her yarns. So 100% merino or superwash merino is fine, but no nylons and stuff like that. So I thought, well, I've got this gorgeous 12 ply from Nunda Wool & Mills, 100% merino, machine washable. She's got 2 young kids. I don't have the right dyes to dye with. I've only got like browns and blues left from my gay wool dyes. So I grabbed the Brights Landscapes sample pack, and I thought I'll use that and I'll give it a go dyeing some yarn for her, because Chelsea really enjoyed the yarn that I dyed for her, and I enjoy dyeing yarn, so I thought I would give it a go, and maybe I'll start doing that for each wool swap partner, dye up a skein for them from myself with proper dyes. So I used something magnolia, I think it was called, wild magnolia, I think, and I made this. There are some white bits where my cotton tie was, and it took up the dye instead of, they're not white, they're just very light pink. They were white to begin with, and I dyed it again. So yes, that is a very bright fuchsia type color. I quite enjoy it. I'm hoping Carolyn will like it too. So that it's not skeined up because it's still slightly damp just here on the end. So it is so soft though. I cannot get over how soft this Nunda Wool & Mills yarn is. So I'm hoping she will like that. I think I've decided I might try dyeing yarn when we get our new house. I might see if my husband can set up a studio for me. I think I'd like to do it a bit more, not professionally or anything, just like for myself, like not on my kitchen bench or outside on the table. I'd like to be able to have a dedicated space for it and have my dyes all stored out there and everything, because I really do enjoy it, and it's nice to be able to go, oh, I need this color for this project, I don't have it, I'll just go dye it. So yeah, I quite enjoy that. It's nice to have a different creative outlet instead of just knitting, because you know I don't do much of that, but it's nice to have another creative outlet. So yes, I don't know, are they okay to leave? I know it's hard to get tonals completely one color, but I was hoping to get as much of it as one color as possible. I'm a bit disappointed that I ended up with those random light bits. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Do I nix it and try again, keep this on for myself, or is it fine? I ended up with 177 grams left of this sock yarn from Nunda Wool & Mills. I decided to just throw it all in together and dye this. It is so yellow. Oh, maybe I could do some yellow socks for Bunny with those. That would be cute. It'd be kind of like my sock swap socks I did with Anna. So this has also got lighter bits in it, but nowhere near where my ties were. Like, oh, there's a very loose tie there. Oh, that is my cotton tie. So maybe it was for my cotton tie being there. Oh well. But yeah, it's very yellow. It's so bright. I absolutely love it. Also isn't quite dry yet, so that's why it's not skeined up. My husband was like, wow, it's so yellow. I was like, I don't have yellow in my stash. So I decided to add some myself. And it is my youngest daughter's favorite color. This is really bright and sunny, and it makes me very happy. So I think I need to have more yellows in my stash. once again, is this okay? Not that I'm planning on giving this to anyone, but is that okay? Would that bother you guys if you got, you know, almost 200 grams of yarn and there was some lighter spots in it? It doesn't bother me. Like my Wisteria had some slight random whiter spots in it. If I show you, like you can see it knitted up. You can see the lighter bits, and it doesn't bother me at all because I know that's what you get with hand-dyed yarn. But I don't know. As a dyer, I don't know if, well, as a dyer, because you know I'm so professional, dyeing it myself, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if that is okay. Is it normal to be so hard on yourself? I don't know. I don't even know what this, like, what you're supposed to be doing, really. I have no idea when it comes to dyeing. It's going to be like an hour-long episode. Oh, well. All right. Only other thing I have to talk about is dream knitting, because I have been, I have been reading and watching things, but I've been rereading and rewatching things, so it takes up very limited brain space. I have this beautiful skein of Rosa from Rosehip Island on her delicious sock base, which is 85-15, so 85 superwash merino, Australian superwash merino, 15% nylon. So that is that beautiful colour. And one of my Spendigo purchases online was this beautiful gigantic skein. Well, it's only 100 grams. It looks gigantic because the way it's skeined up when you get sent it. It's from Strength Unawares, and it is the Lilac Sunset. So there we go. I haven't actually opened up the label to see if there's, oh, there is more information on here. Hold on, let me undo this. Oh, it is, ta-da, more information. 80-20, another one I haven't had. So 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 meters to 100 grams. So these are long color repeats. So what I wanted to do is I actually want to make a flax light for my youngest child. She's tiny. I only need 680 something meters of yarn. I've got 800 right here. So I want to use this for like the sleeves and most of the body, but then I want to do like this striping in the main part of the body. Like, so the yoke and everything will be in the pink, the sleeves will be in the pink. And then I want to use the self-striping to go like through the body. And it might be the rest of the body, it might not be, I don't really know. I just kind of want to wing it and see what we end up with. So yeah, I was thinking those two together because the pinks match pretty perfectly. But I am a little bit worried that I'm going to go through all that effort and then go, oh, I don't like the way that looks. Not that she's going to care because she's just going to love all the colours and stuff. So I guess, I don't know. I could do like, I don't think the colours will show up enough if I just do this for like cuffs and ribbing and stuff because they are long colour repeats. So I don't think you'll get that proper striping. Whereas I think you're using this like across the chest and down the body of the jumper, we're going to get those beautiful stripes. Might not necessarily be stripes, but just those beautiful colours into the jumper, and I'll be able to use all the colours, not just, you know, one and then maybe the start of the second one in a cuff. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not too sure. Convince me so I can get started, because she keeps asking me every morning now since I showed her these two, is my jumper finished? It's not even started yet, child. Take a chill pill. So yes, jumper for her. Socks for her, possibly, or socks for her, possibly. I could even do her jumper in yellow. And maybe do this, like I could do like the whole body of the jumper in yellow. The cuffs could be in yellow. The neckline and the bottom ribbing could be pink, and then I could stripe the sleeves. That could be too bright of a yellow to use though. I'm not too sure about that. Let me know what you guys think. I like your opinions and your thoughts. So yeah, socks, jumper, headband, And I feel like I was, socks and or beanie for my eldest. Yes. Okay. I think that's it. Oh, and obviously 2 more pairs of mittens. Okay. I guess I feel like I've been chatting this whole time and now I'm like, now it's time for a chat. Let me grab my blanket back out. Can I just show you the world's cutest dog first, please? She has grown so much in the last month, guys. Jazzy. She's just laying here on my lap with her head on my leg. She's fast asleep. Jasmine. Oh, she's out of it, guys. Come here, baby. Sorry. Oh my god. So she just had her last shot on Friday and she's now over 8 kilos. So she's a big heavy girl. Oh, hi baby. She's such a little love bug still. She's finally growing into her paws a little bit. They don't look so massive on her. I don't look at them and go, geez, I worry that you're going to be a big dog. She is still tiny compared to her brother. Well, I'm assuming they haven't been together for a few weeks. But looking at photos of him, he seems so much bigger than she is. She still enjoys chewing on everything. I caught her chewing on the wall the other day. She can now sit, shake, lay down. We're working on rollover and we're working on put your paws up. Yes, we're working on that, aren't we? You don't have to do it now, baby. You can just relax. And she just learned how to drop as well. So when we're playing fetch, which she does very well now, she's just learned how to drop so that we can throw it again. And also when she runs off with something she's not supposed to have, which happens multiple times a day, she's learned how to drop that as well when I tell her to. So that's all wonderful. She's not great at walking on the lead. I'm pretty sure that's the doxy coming out in her, but we'll just keep training. Baby, careful, you're gonna knock it over. My very expensive basket and tripod setup. So yeah, that's the dog update. Life update. Tomorrow I go see my surgeon and she can tell me if I can get rid of this dreaded boot. Guys, I just hate it so much. I did have a shower this morning without my shower chair because I have to return to the hospital tomorrow and I wanted to know if I was going to be okay to return it to the hospital tomorrow. And I didn't just want to return it and then get back home and go, oh no, I still need that. So I had a shower without a shower chair this morning and it was glorious. Shower chairs suck. Like I was like standing in the shower going, look at all this room for activities, because the shower chair takes up so much floor space and you just kind of feel like you're scrunched into the corner and you can't, not that you're doing much in the shower, but you feel like you can't do anything. So that was nice. I have been remote teaching this lockdown. No like face-to-face meetings or anything yet. If lockdown gets extended, we will have to start doing those. My school has a very large English as a second language population, so it's kind of difficult to communicate effectively about work expectations and stuff. So that's going to have to be a discussion I have with my students when we come back, or hope, you know, if lockdown gets extended, I'll have to do that during a Google Meet or something. But today's the first day that I've had like multiple students jump on and log on and hopefully do some work. I won't find out until we get back to school because they have to do all their workbooks. So yeah, I'll find out, and that could either way, whether they're doing the work or not, it's going to be a great discussion point about expectations and how they coped during lockdown and stuff like that. I think we might even be able to do a writing piece on it. I don't know, we'll work our way around that, make sure everyone's okay first before we decide to assign work based on it. What else is going on? I really need to get my hair dyed and I really need a pedicure because I haven't been able to have one. My bunny turned 4 over the school holidays, so that kind of delayed a podcast a bit because I was like, no, we need to prep for this party because this is before lockdown happened. That was on school holidays. She turned 4. I don't think I've podcasted since the second week of the holidays. So yeah, she turned 4. We had a party, and it was the first time all of our friends had been together for a year and a half, and that was wonderful. It was so beautiful. And then I had them both home for a few days in the second week of the holidays because, you know, why not? And trying to podcast with both of them home is just impossible. So I didn't podcast that week. And I kept saying to myself, oh, I'll do it later in the week. And then it just never happened. And then we went back to school, and something happened that my husband had to like run to an emergency meeting, so I had to pick up both girls on the Tuesday afternoon, whereas he normally does pickups on Tuesdays, so I can do a podcast. So that threw the podcast out. I was like, that's cool, I'll just do it later in the week. And then lockdown happened later that week, and honestly, this lockdown, while I completely understand why and that it's necessary, and I would rather be in lockdown for a week and a half than for months like we were last year, it was a bit more stressful having to juggle remote learning with remote teaching, a dog at home that needs constant attention. Trying to ignore the housework is really difficult because I'm like, no, normally I'd be at work, I wouldn't be here to do housework, wait till after work hours to do it. And it's kind of hard to ignore, and I find myself getting distracted from work and getting up and going and doing a load of washing or sweeping the floors. I'm like, stop, get your work done first and then do it. And just, it's been a bit more stressful this time around. Last time all I was doing was marking work and doing a bunch of planning. It's been a lot more different this time around, having to set work and find activities and find things to do that to do with my reading program, but aren't my reading program, because that's not online at all. That's completely concrete at school with set up books and lessons and everything. So yes, it's been a bit of a challenge, but I've managed to get through. It actually has made me realize that we probably need to work at putting my literacy program that I'm doing online in case this happens again. So that might be a bunch of extra work coming my way. Other than that, I think that could be all, guys. Oh my god. I've talked so much. I would say sorry, but it's been a month. Like, it's just so nice to be able to sit here and talk to you guys about my knitting and life and what I've been up to, and honestly it's just nice to be able to chat about it. I feel like I've been exploding wanting to talk about this stuff lately, and I've had no one to talk to about it. So thank you so much for letting me blab on and articulate my thoughts in front of the camera again. I feel like I'm starting to get back into the groove of it an hour later, so that's good. I'll try not to leave it so long next time, because otherwise I feel like a newbie starting all over again. I did want to recommend a podcast before I left, and that's LittleFernFibers, I want to say, but I will pop it down here with the proper name because I probably just completely stuffed that up. And also Frugal and Frivolous. It's a podcast with, so LittleFernFibers is a mum in, I want to say Canada, I could be wrong there. She's only got 2 episodes out, but they're beautiful. She's really soft-spoken and calm, and she knits the most beautiful things, and she's never crocheted before, but she threw herself into the deep end to try and crochet a cardigan, which turned out amazing. She is currently pregnant with her 2nd child, and she made this gorgeous playmat for her first, and she showed it off during the last episode, and it was absolutely, I just was blown away by the work that she put into it. And she's just very, I don't know, I just really enjoy watching her podcast. Frivolous and Frugal are 2 sisters. I think they say there is 10 of them. There's 10 siblings, I think, and they're 2 that get together and do like a knitting podcast. Sometimes they, in early episodes, they've been like together, but now they do it like via streaming with cameras and stuff. And I just really enjoy watching their back and forths and how they interact and sharing their love of knitting, and they like to rate things on the I'm not gonna be able to say it, but like on a meter of how frugal it is. And that's really cool. I like that, knowing how expensive yarns and patterns and stuff are. Because I do, while I save up to spend money on hand-dyed yarn, I do like to keep an eye on my spending, so that's nice to know, especially when it comes to if I need like a sweater's worth of yarn and stuff like that, I need to be, or a jumper's worth, I need to be able to know where I can go to get a decent yarn that's not going to break my bank account. That one. The last one was, I've just started watching Andrea Mowry's I'll Knit If I Want To. So she sits there and she answers questions that people have asked. And I have learned so much just from 4 episodes of that, I think. So I haven't watched any of her earlier stuff. I literally just started, I think it's like episode 12 or 13 or something. And I just started there because I was like, you know, it came up recommended for me, so I just checked it out. And it was really informative. She's a pleasure to listen to talk. And I love how she always says that she's no expert, but you know, she's one of the most popular designers on Ravelry. And she knows her stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting listening to her take on things and her opinions and thoughts and tips and tricks. She's got a lot of those, so that's awesome. So yes, I highly recommend jumping on there just to have on. They don't go for very long, just to have on while you're knitting or cooking dinner or whatever it is, maybe while you're cleaning, just stick her in your back pocket, because you don't necessarily need to look at the screen when she's talking, because it is very informative. It's not so much a show and tell type of thing. It's not just someone sitting here showing you their knitting. I suppose she can't really do that because she is a designer, so she kind of needs to keep all that hush hush until she releases patterns. So yeah, make alongs, craft alongs. I totally forgot to mention, the shawl that I'm making is for the Across the Pond shawl knit along, which is hosted by Little Ruth. I want to say Little Ruth Knits, but that could be wrong. Or Ruth Loves to Knit, it could be, sorry. Ruth Loves to Knit. Oh yeah, Ruth Loves to Knit and LittleMonkeysandMe. So Ruth and Fernanda. And that is being run on Ravelry and on Instagram, so you can check it out on either. If the new Ravelry platform doesn't work for you, check them out on Instagram. Also, I am going to be starting on the 1st of August. Mad About You Madeline is running a Mad About You challenge where you pick something between the 1st of August and the 30th of November to knit something, crochet something, craft something that challenges you. I'm either going to try brioche, because that has been on my list for this year and it terrifies me, or I probably could have done it for this project actually. Knit an entire project continental, because I have been, hold on, I'll just see if I can switch over now. I have been trying to teach myself to knit continental. I'm not a huge fan of it doesn't feel natural yet, but apparently if you just keep at it, I don't like this whole scooping motion to like get the yarn around my needle, so I'm not, this isn't, maybe it's because you do it that way. I don't know. Am I doing this wrong? I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I think I did that last stitch wrong. Like, I don't have no problem holding the yarn over here. That's not my issue. It's getting the yarn around my needle that just doesn't feel right. I don't know. Like, what am I doing wrong here, guys? Sorry for the voice. That's my frustrated knitting voice. My family know not to come near me when that voice comes out. Like, am I holding it too close to the tips of the needles? Is my tension not right? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right yet. But I will keep working on it and I will figure it out. I think that is going to be my challenge. I don't care if it's a dishcloth. I want to knit something all in continental. And there's no purling in this. So it would be the perfect thing to try. I do know if you're going to do purling in continental, the best one to learn is Norwegian pearls, I think. That's what Knitting Tradition says anyway, which is another podcast you should check out. They're very, very informative. So yes, I really enjoy watching that one. I'm fine. So I've been watching, obviously I've watched lots and lots of Aussie knitting podcasts, but I've also been trying to find some international ones lately. So, but yes, I think that's all, guys. I'm so sorry for all the blabber. It's just, I'm so excited to be talking about this stuff again. Hopefully I will be back in a week with less blabber and more knitting. And I will try, and hopefully I'll get my last Spend to Go purchase and I can do a full video about that separately. I'm thinking I need to start doing more stuff like that, like separate videos for Jazzy, careful, yarn recommendations from my purchases and stuff like that, rather than trying to squeeze it all onto a podcast episode, because it does make it quite long and not everybody wants to see what I've been purchasing and what I think of yarns. So yeah, until I talk to you guys again, which will hopefully be very, very soon, I hope you have a wonderful week and that your crafting brings you all the joy you need, and you are looking after yourselves, especially all of those of you in lockdown, or just, you know, life's got you a bit down. Just focus on yourself mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, because all of that's important, and so are you. Bye.